What did you put on the page, Jonathan? I have the piece of paper here.
Would you like for me to say what I put on the
You
page?
should probably bleep out.
Okay, we'll make sure that I have the proper. Read the fucking room, people. Read the room. If you walk into a room, if you walk into a Facebook group, and it's not about pitching, don't pitch. Don't do the things that it's not about. You don't want to look like a fool, and you look like a fool.
It's Coffee Social, the podcast all about social media and business. And now, here are your hosts, Jonathan Howard and Mimi Langley.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Jonathan Howard.
Hello, Mimi Langley.
Oh, you're so excited. Do y'all hear his excited voice? You are so, that's the word, chipper.
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 That is the correct spelling of chipper. Yes, I'm chipper this morning.
Can you please use that in a sentence? No, I'm just kidding. I think we're really excited about this episode because this episode, although everything that we're going to be sharing today is, we're talking about pet peeves, okay? And really it's another way of us just to complain about things that we just dislike when it comes to practices that people make on social media and business. So this is going to be a fun episode. And, but before we dive in, cheers, my friend. Coffee cheers.
Coffee cheers to you.
Boop, boop, boop. Cheers to anyone, even if you're drinking hot tea, we don't dislike you.
If you're drinking matcha, we might dislike you. No. It's okay.
Have you ever had matcha? It's pretty intense.
I've not had. It's, yeah. It's not something that I would
flavor.
really. Yeah.
Real quick, Jonathan, because this is such a fun episode, I would love for you to kick us off with your first pet peeve, which is for Stanley Cups.
I hate Stanley Cups, period. I hate Stanley Cups. Why the hell do you need a big, loud cup? Like, what is the purpose of the damn cup? Why? And why does it cost $9 million? And I sent you this video the other day. Why are people renting them to take pictures with them to post on their Instagram? Come on, it's not a fucking Ferrari. Okay, I'm done.
Wait a minute. People are renting Stanley Cups?
Yes.
They're like $40 though.
Okay. Yeah. If you need to have one, then buy one. If you can't afford one, then it's a water bottle. You'll be okay with a plastic cup.
Listen, Stanley, if you would like to sponsor Coffee Social, you're more than welcome to. I mean, I welcome it. Okay, I'll be the one holding it. That's fine. I'll sip out of it.
And you know what? They did a brilliant job changing their image to the housewife image that everybody loves. They did. It's a brilliant marketing, but I just, come on, people.
You have to give them credit, like you are giving them credit, and you do.
Yeah.
You have to give a business credit where they can literally just take a simple cup, right, that you can find from any brand, really. It's not really a unique shape or anything like that. And they really elevated it. Like they made it the fancy dining of drinkware. Yeah.
It's
drinking water.
Here's my water. Makes a lot of noise.
Michelin star drinkware.
Yeah,
But, like,
so that's my first pet peeve.
But listen, I love that it's a pet peeve, but maybe after we should research about it because we could probably learn a lot about Stanley, honestly, and like how they got to this point of marketing.
And how they got to that point of marketing. They did a genius job marketing. There's a lot of lessons that you can learn from the Stanley Cup when it comes to how to reposition, how to recreate your brand, tons of stuff.
So when are we getting drinkware? I'm just saying.
No, that budget item was not approved. Sorry.
We need to at least have coffee cups. Okay, you guys, let's jump into the episode today because we could be talking about what I want for merchandise for a long time, but Jonathan will not. He shuts me down. Let us know in the comments what you guys want. Do you want t-shirts? Do you want coffee cups? Let us know.
Not approved.
Let's jump into this fun episode about pet peeves, about what to ditch. Like this is the do not kind of try not to do these kinds of things. And really it pertains to a lot of things social media wise. So we'll jump into it. But real quick, do you want to introduce yourself, Jonathan, just in case people don't know who you are?
Ourselves. Yeah. So my name is Jonathan Howard. I'm the owner of Success on Social, and I help successful female coaches show up on social media, share their story, and change the world. So that's what I help people do. And I've done it myself, so I know you can do it. Over to you, Mimi.
I love that so much. Hey, everyone. I'm Mimi Langley. I teach women in business how to host rooms, how to moderate on social audio. That includes LinkedIn audio and Clubhouse. It's really a great way to gain visibility, make sales, grow that email list, audio marketing people. So definitely tune in, to this podcast because we talk about Instagram. We talk about creating video. We talk about audio marketing. So stick around. You could probably find some episodes already on the podcast page. All right, Jonathan, let's jump into this. I actually wrote a note right here. It says things that really annoy Jonathan. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, she put ha 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 after it like it's actually a joke. It's not a joke. These are things that really annoy Jonathan. I'm on social media all the time. So what is the first one that really annoys Jonathan?
Well, this one annoys me too. And if you do any of these, we're not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, by the way.
Yes, we are. Don't do them. Stop them immediately.
Really we want to let you know, like, because sometimes we get like really are deep into what we do or what we hear other people do that we start doing it, and we don't factor in everything, like how it makes maybe the person on the other end feel, right? So DMs, let's talk about direct messaging, specifically on social media, specifically on LinkedIn, but we could talk about even Instagram DMs. For me, Jonathan, I feel like they're getting really bad. And what I mean by that is that it just feels so automated. Like it feels like there's whether it's AI or not, it just feels like a simple copy and paste to every single person.
Right. And that doesn't feel good for the customer on the other side. If you need to cold DM people, which I don't believe any business needs to do, that's my own personal opinion, but if you need to cold DM people, then cold DM them after you looked at their profile, you look at what they do, and you have some understanding of their business. That is honestly the biggest thing I can say is have some understanding of their business. If you're cold DMing to pitch me on social media management, I'm going to tell you, and that's it. But honestly, I'll probably take an effort to type that out into my keyboard so I can tell you that because you didn't even bother looking at what I do. But then the other side of it is it's just rude. People want to feel seen. And when you're making a business feel like you don't see them, they're not going to do business with you. My own personal opinion.
I feel you. And, there are people that get passes, right? Because you're just like, they're trying. Like you can get that sense. But there are, people that push DM marketing. Like they're like, you need to get in the DMs. You need to start building these relationships with people. You're saying you don't necessarily have to do it right off the bat. Like warm yourself up a little bit with them. Yeah.
Yeah, get to know them. And if you're doing it on Instagram, there's a great way to do it on Instagram. Just pay attention to their stories, see what they're doing. You can get into their DMs by answering a poll question. You can get into their DMs by answering a question that they're asking. There's lots of ways that you can build the relationship and get into the DMs. And that's going to be, yes, where you're doing the selling, absolutely, but take the time to do the work. Don't just jump into the DMs without knowing them.
I love that because you gave some really great examples of how to get into someone's DMs where it feels genuine and real. And like, they're like, oh, okay. Like this person actually cares about my poll. Like you get bonus points for that. You know what I mean? So those are great examples. I also think too, like if you really want to just say hi to somebody and maybe you really like their profile or you're really interested in what they're teaching, I think there's a way to go about it where you can DM somebody and start that conversation. Like LinkedIn is all about DMs. I mean, there's so many people that DM every single time I connect or follow, but again, it just feels like a copy and paste. So if there's a way you can do it where literally you're not copying and pasting, maybe look at their profile and pull some things out that you're like, oh my gosh, I really love that I have a little girl too. Like, or I love that you love coffee because I love coffee,
Right. Oh my God, I love this post that you did, and send them a copy of their post. There is no better way to get on somebody's good side than sending them their own content that you loved.
Yes.
I love this post. And then don't sell right after it. Don't sell right after it. Say you love that post and give it at least a day. Come on.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too. The DMs, they're so powerful, but people ruin it so quickly because they're like, you want to hop on a call? You want to get to know each other real quick?
Nope, not interested. Thank you. Goodbye.
Could be interested if we even knew who each other were. Like getting on a call like that doesn't sound appealing to me right away. Like, let me get to know you. Like, let's talk through here first before we hop on a coffee chat or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. All right. What's the next one?
Okay.
I know what the next one is.
Well, this one was Jonathan. I mean, I have really no opinion on this, but he put using the word authentic.
It is a pet peeve for me because it has no meaning at this point. At this point, authentic has no meaning, and I've refused to use it. I said in the beginning of the year, I'm not using the word authentic anymore. I'm using the word real when I'm describing how I want you to show up on social media. I want you to show up as your real self. But if I say authentic, then all I sound like is one of those vapid salespeople who are trying to sell you nothing at all. We don't even know what the hell they're selling. Nothing but pipe dreams and happiness and unicorns and rainbows. Like that's what authentic feels to me. Like it's unicorns, rainbows, and pipe dreams. So I want you to be real on social media. I want you to connect with people based on who you are on social media. I don't want you to be fake. And honestly, that's what authentic sounds like to me, is fake at this point.
Do you think, and I understand where you're coming from, because authentic, the word alone has really taken off. It's become trendy. In a lot of ways, it's been a little bit devalued, if you want to put that out there. Like, it just doesn't feel the way it once did when you say the word authentic. And not to everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the word real, because there's just no way you can, I don't know.
At least now, there's no way you can
Right
screw
now.
that up. What sent me over the edge was at the end of last year, I saw a video and there was a girl telling her audience that they needed to be curated authentic. And I'm like, that's not fucking real.
What does that
Curated
mean?
authentic. Curated authentic. She was saying that you need to curate your feed and you need to, I'm like, then it's curated. It's not authentic. Like those are two different words. You're curating your feed and making it feel like something that you think your audience wants to see. And that's not being real.
Can I say, I think I know what it means, because, I follow a lot of like YouTubers and things like that on Instagram, and it's so sad when it gets to this point, but it almost feels like when we're thinking curated, it's like, okay, well, I've gone 2 weeks without talking about my, I don't want to even use the trigger word depression, or, you know what I mean? Like, they're throwing out these things. And, it's been a while since, we've connected on that level. Like, they need to know I have, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. Versus.
And
yeah.
Right. And it's also like, nobody wants to see that you have a messy background. Well, but if you have a messy background and there's other people out there that have a messy background, that gives them the permission to show up. I know you don't want to think that anybody wants to see that. And I understand. And have been, in the past very curated. But it's at a point now where it just feels fake.
Oh. Well, I will say, though, I mean, if you're doing it from a place of like youth, like for me, I love filters. And that might not feel real to people because I'm using a filter. But for me, I enjoy it. I love filters. I don't mind it if other people use filters. It's not a big deal. Right. So,
right.
This kind of the word authentic and the way it's presented in content can kind of go in all different angles. But we're just saying, don't just use the word because it's hyped up right now. Like, be real. Right. If you want to be real, be real. Yeah.
Exactly.
The next one is, again, Jonathan Howard and his pet peeve. I'm going to stick up for us on this one, but he said, he put it on the list, faceless accounts. What does this mean?
Accounts. I hate faceless accounts. Who are you? What are you selling? What's going on? No, I don't. And it's so overdone. All the faceless accounts out there, and I'm sorry, faceless accounts, I'm not sorry. All the faceless accounts out there look the same because they're all coming from the same agency. They're all using the same freaking artwork. They're using the same stock videos. They're using all the same stuff, and they're sending the same messages, some of which are completely fake and not real. I had a call with Instagram and it said this. Yeah, no, you didn't. Somebody said, make that post, and you did blindly make that post because they're all the same. It does you no good. Why are you special? Why should I buy from you? What makes you different than everybody in the marketplace? A faceless account is the same as any other faceless account to me. Unless you're doing something different, and most of the faceless marketing is really just teaching you how to do faceless marketing, not actually to have a successful business. Because they haven't proven that faceless marketing is successful yet.
Well, okay, so I completely understand what you're saying. I completely understand it, right? Because it's like, who are you? You know what I mean? And you're right. A lot of them look very similar to each other. And you're like, well, who is where is that signature style? Where is that, like, you know what I mean? Like how, anyways. But I will say for some, they serve a purpose. Like I love quotes, right? And at the end of the day, that's all I'm trying to get is quotes. Like I'm trying to get something that fuels my fire, you know, and I love quotes. And a lot of the quote pages, specifically on Instagram, they are faceless, you know, and I don't really know what their goal is at the end of the day. Like I'm assuming, yes, they want to make money. And there are some that are coming out saying, I make money doing this, you know, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it is missing. If you're trying to, what's the goal? I think that's the biggest thing. What is the goal? Yeah.
What is the goal? And if the goal is to get people into this MLM, that is to sell people faceless marketing as a product, then I don't see where it's feasible, and it's going to end at some point. Now, quotes, I think, are very different. Those motivational profiles are different because they are providing valuable motivation, and you could do one that features you in some different ways, and it makes it different from everything else. You could create your own, you know, motivational quotes with voiceovers and your own stock video footage if you want, and that stands out different from the others. So that's different in my mind.
I like that a lot. And you know, that's what I'm doing. I maybe by the time you're listening to this or watching this podcast episode, I myself will have a motivational quote Instagram.
I just gulped into my microphone. Yes.
I know you did. I heard it in my ears. Okay. Faceless accounts. Show your face. And if you're not ready to, Jonathan is the perfect person to kind of build your confidence when it comes to being on video. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump into a commercial break real quick because this is what keeps the lights on at Coffee Social. And we'll be right back, you guys.
I don't know if you're like me, but I'm a busy mom with big dreams. I feel like I have no time in the day to write my book or start my blog. That's why I signed up for the Girl You've Got This Action Over Perfection community. It includes dedicated co-working sessions to get things done, brainstorming sessions so you don't drive yourself crazy, and social audio trainings to learn more about gaining visibility and making sales. Check the show notes for a link to sign up.
Tired of being overlooked on social media? Ready to be seen in the crowded marketplace? Attract your ideal clients and increase your impact. The Signature membership combines all the tools you need to level up your presence, share your powerful stories, and have a bigger impact in the world. See the link to join in the show notes. Are we back from commercial?
We are back. We hope you guys enjoyed those commercials. We'll put all the links in the show notes for you. Okay, let's continue on. We're talking about pet peeves. We're talking about like what not to do if you're doing these things. Just kind of think about think about the other end of it. Yes. And a lot of these are really just Jonathan just getting it all out. This is like a therapy session for Jonathan. So okay, the next one we have on our list, and I actually went to Threads. I did a little bit of market research and I went to Threads for this one. But it was commenting on people's posts with just emojis. And a lot of people do this. I myself am a big, like when I really can't find the words to use, I do drop emojis. And I will tell you real quick before we get into Jonathan bashing this. Again, I went to Threads. And I put up a post, and maybe I didn't angle it correctly, but I said, do you get mad when someone...
So it's wrong.
Well...
So the results are wrong. Got it.
No, not necessarily. I said, do you get mad when someone comments with just an emoji? Because I kind of wanted to see the other side of things. And everybody who responded, shout out to... There was 19 comments on my Threads, okay? Shout out to Threads for thriving. But a lot of people are like, they enjoy it. They as the creator of that post, sometimes emojis, they can say a lot. Holly said, an emoji can say a lot. Okay. Another person said, emojis are my love language. People appreciate the sentiment, like that they took the time to even make an engagement on their post. I think a lot of people are looking for that, even if it's just an emoji. They just want to feel that someone's seen the post. So people are for it. Now, tell us why, for you, when you're commenting on people's posts, why it's not necessarily a good thing just to leave emojis.
So for me, and what I do, and if you guys follow me or I've commented on any of your posts, you will notice that when I comment, it is a thoughtful comment that talks about something fairly in depth. And not a lot of people do that. But the reason I do that is because when you provide a thoughtful comment, your thought leadership is seen, and you're actually providing them opportunities to talk back to you. And that starts a conversation. And social media is all about building relationships. And to build a relationship, you have to have conversations with people. So when I get 3 smiley face emojis on a post where I said, which do you do, A or B? Which, because I'm providing you an easy option. Are you A or are you B? And I get us 3 smiley faces. I'm like, well, what the am I? So then I have to go in and re-comment back. Well, did you love it if we did this one or that one? And that's, what I get frustrated with, because I'm put out content that hopefully is making it easy for people to engage or think a little bit. And maybe those might be harder. And I get that, but I'm looking for the engagement, and I'm providing an easy way to do it that isn't the emojis. It's a way that starts conversation. And I think as a business owner, if we're missing the opportunity to start conversations, we're missing the opportunity to build our business on social media.
Yeah, and I love that about you, because what you say is so absolutely so true. I don't think I've ever seen Jonathan in my life comment with just an emoji. I've certainly commented on his post with emojis, but yeah, I don't. And another thing too, this is for you, just to get your thinking caps on, because I know sometimes, just like you're just not in the mind space to type anything out. Like you want to like still show up, but really all you have the mind space for is a laughing emoji. But you actually have gotten followers from leaving a comment.
Hundreds,
like
hundreds
an
of
emoji,
followers.
not an emoji comment, but like actually leaving a legit comment. Yeah.
A legit comment. Here's where you can get followers. I've gotten hundreds of followers for calling out somebody. I've gotten hundreds of followers for disagreeing with the person that created the post. And I've gotten hundreds of followers from comments that are just my snark. So there's ways to do it. And there's ways to find people in your industry that may do things different from you. And then you can just highlight where you're different, what you do differently. And that may attract the people that like them on most of their topics, but they don't like them on this one thing. And that brings in your people. I've gotten hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things, and it's usually being antagonistic in the comments. But I also go into a lot of comments and I'm like, I love that you did this. Here's something like this or that. Or I respond to other comments saying, here's something that you might also want to think about, because that highlights your thought leadership again.
Don't forget thought leadership, you guys, especially like if you are a specialist in an area. Don't forget about the thought leadership, because people want to hear what you have to say, and you have to make that known, right? That's you building your credibility. That's you building your reputation. That's you caring about your industry that you're in. People see that.
Yeah.
Also, I was going to throw out, Jonathan is just being so authentic in those comments. He's just being authentic.
I'm being real in those comments. Yes.
Okay, let's go on to the last 2 that we have here. Whoa, these ones fire me up. Okay. First one we have on the list is clickbait titles. Yes, people, we know we have to stop the scroll. We know it's harder than ever nowadays to get people to actually fully pay attention to our content. Jonathan took his glasses off for this one because he's upset. But it's not even just, okay, so I'm coming from the world of social audio, right? And we want to get people into our rooms or our audio events. And the title is really what reels people in. And what irks me the most is the title, like really, I'm like, oh, I want to know. I want to learn the magic sauce or the secret. So I go in there and they're not even talking about it. And it drives me up the woo-ha, because I don't know, you're building your reputation. And if I go into your room and you're just not doing what you're kind of promising in the title, that gives me a little, what does that give me? A bad taste in my mouth. So am I going to come back? I don't know.
Are you going to not live up to your other promises? And that's really what I look at it as. If you're promising me this and you're not delivering, are you going to live up to any of your other promises? Because that's what I'm looking for in a business. Not only live up to their promises, but over deliver on their promises. I want a business that's going to over deliver on the things that they promise. And if you're not even delivering on those promises, I'm probably not going to do business with you. So be aware of clickbait titles, because if you're not delivering, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, not going to deliver on any of their promises, so why would I even bother doing business with them? The other thing is, if you're doing a clickbait title for the shock and awe of it, make it very clear that it's the shock and awe of it. Like, my title today, and people that know me know it's kind of a shock and awe title because I would never say viral content in my ever. But you know, it's kind of a shock and awe title. It's an April Fool's reel. Go watch it. You'll find it. Go watch it. I know it's not April Fool's at this point. It's probably June, but you can go find it.
Can I ask you one thing? And I know
Yes.
in time, I'm just going to ask one thing, because it doesn't just apply to, you know, social audio or an Instagram reel, right? With those hooks, you know, people utilize, you know, use those, but even email subject lines, like this can be applied everywhere. Like just don't even do it. There's ways to catch people's attention and to get people to click and to build that curiosity without necessarily lying to them.
Right.
So,
Always deliver. And if you deliver on the clickbait, then it's not clickbait anymore.
right.
So if you're delivering on it, awesome. Just don't use it to get people's attention and then leave it alone. Never come back to it.
Yeah. And anyways, we have to talk about this, but maybe we could do a whole episode because there was this one Instagram reel, Jonathan, that the whole time I was like, oh my gosh, is this true? Like they went on and on and on. And at the end, it wasn't. And I'm like, was this clickbait or was this like really smart?
Well, you sent me a reel and I ended up doing a response reel kind of back to you on it about, because it was a whole bunch of clickbait she put out there. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You guys see my like, I'm having goosebumps because it just irks me so much, these clickbaity things. Okay. Last one that we have, a do not, please try not to. And that is pitching yourself in a space that's not for that. You know, if you understand social audio, if you've been around social audio, Clubhouse, LinkedIn audio, there are so many people who will, the room is not even about you talking about what you do, but they will come onto a stage and they will introduce themselves and go on and on about what they have to offer. And everyone sitting around is like, what is this person even doing? Like, this is not what we're talking about. Right. So just, what did you put on the page, Jonathan? I have the piece of paper here.
would you like for me to say what I put on the
You
page?
should probably bleep out.
Okay. We'll make sure that I have the proper, read the fucking room, people. Read the room. If you walk into a room, if you walk into a Facebook group and it's not about pitching, don't pitch. Don't do the things that it's not about. You don't want to look like a fool. And you look like a fool if you walk into a Clubhouse room and you pitch yourself when it's about how to tell stories. That's not what we're doing. So pay attention to the rooms, pay attention to the people in the rooms, and pay attention to the responses that you're getting when you're doing something like this, because you could be mid-sentence and stop yourself, correct yourself, and say, oops, sorry, this isn't the place to do that.
Yeah, and I'm always curious, does it work for people? Like,
It can't.
when you, right? Like,
It can't. Can it?
because like I'm sitting there like, I don't think I'll ever follow you because you just did that to that person. Like, you know? Yeah.
I often just block them. Or they get
This-
kicked out of groups. I mean, they get kicked out of groups.
Right. And you don't want to do that because you never know who you're going to burn a bridge with, right? Like we try to just keep it professional always. And again, there's plenty of places to look. You can even ask, is this a place that I can share, blah, 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 right? Like do yourself due diligence because you don't want to burn any bridges with people and you don't want to come off being
That guy.
that. Yeah. Also, in the comment section, can we just, this is the last point about pitching yourself, in the comment section of posts, right? So let's say, just an example, let's say I did a LinkedIn post and my post was kind of me as the post creator talking about a specific topic and linking it to my boot camp coming up, right? And then you go into my comments, don't even acknowledge anything I just said, and you say, oh, I have a boot camp too.
Yeah. If the owner of the group or the person that posted it is pitching their product, the proper thing to do is not pitch yours. Come on, it's common sense. Be polite, because guess what? If you had a complimentary product or service that you offered, you could approach the creator and say, hey, I've got a great idea. Why don't we do these two things together? Like, and that would work. But the moment that you pitch your product that may be complimentary in their comments, they're never talking to you again, because that's their opportunity to sell their product. They're taking that chance to put it out there, and that takes a lot for people. So yeah, don't do that.
Oh, this was a very not an intense. It was fun. It was a fun episode, but also it was like, wow, these things really do irk us, and it felt
They
really
really
good to
do
get it
irk
out.
me. Yeah, it was a therapy session. It was.
It really was. Do y'all? We'll see how this works for people, because I know sometimes people don't like to kind of be in the pet peeve space, but these are, again, things that if you are doing or if you heard other people do, anyways, I think it's helpful.
Yeah, and things that sometimes people do recommend you do these things, and at least you see the other side of it, what other people might think about it. So hopefully it's useful.
I love that. That's so good. It's true. Okay, Jonathan, let's go ahead and wrap this up, because we do try to keep these episodes digestible.
Anyway, on that note, I want to, if you enjoyed this episode or any of our previous episodes, because I think this is episode 16. So if you've enjoyed this episode or any other episodes, and you haven't already given us a 5-star review, make sure, whoops, I got to put the 5 right in there. Make sure you give us a 5-star review, because Mimi loves her stars. I love stars. I love when Mimi's happy. So all of that is good things. So make sure you give Mimi a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast. And we are available on all the platforms pretty much. So wherever you want to listen to your podcast, you can listen to Coffee Social. And where else are we available, Mimi?
We're also on YouTube, so if you'd rather watch us versus listening, go to, the show notes have the links for everything, you guys, and we'd love to see you on YouTube. Also, Jonathan, someone said that they were listening to us on Amazon.
Yep, it's available on Amazon now. Yep.
I didn't even know that Amazon, anyways. So you got...
on Amazon, you can get it. It's directly listed on Amazon Echo.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, we're on people's Echoes. Shout out to all of you Echo listeners. All right, Jonathan, we'll go ahead and wrap it up with the most important question of them all. And I don't know how we're going to actually find out the truth. Like, who is winning?
We already know the truth. We already know the truth.
You guys, let us know. Are you team Mimi or
Team Jonathan?
That was me.
Obvious choice. Obvious choice.
Cheers, Jonathan Howard.
Cheers, Mimi Langley.
See you guys later. Thank you so much.
Okay, got it.
We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening, you guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Jonathan Howard.
Bye, Mimi Langley.